Hi D1, happy Tuesday. It is September 15th. Let's go ahead and talk about what our jobs are for today. So first things first, you are on the class website. We are on the home page and you're going to come over to where it says assignments, week of 9-14. It is Tuesday. I'm going to scroll down and you see your three wonderful teachers who are happy to greet you. And now let's go ahead, let's talk about what our jobs are for today. So first things first, we have our morning work, which is every single morning. And so this week we are working on adverbs. Remember, adverbs tell you how you do the verb. So your verb could be jump. How do you jump? Do you jump high? Do you jump low? Do you jump often? It describes how you're doing that verb. And so your job is to click on the circle and drag it over and circle 12 adverbs. 12. I don't know if it's flipped. I hope it's not. 12. I don't know what it looks like on your screen, but it's 12 adverbs that tell how you do that verb. So keep that in mind. There is also the video linked here if you need a reference or a reminder. What is an adverb? I know we talked about them yesterday, so keep that in mind. And then your journal, remember you are doing your journal daily, that means every day, and it is Top 10 Tuesday. So every Tuesday your job is to make a list, a top 10 list, and for today it is to write your top 10 goals for the school year. Make sure your goals are specific. It shouldn't be, I want to be better at math. Like, what at math? What are you struggling with math that you want to get better at? Maybe it's I want to get better with regrouping. That would be a more specific goal, so keep that in mind. But you need 10 goals, and then with your 10 goals, your number one goal, you need to write a paragraph about and why that is your top goal. So keep that in mind when you're organizing your goals. And remember, we're going to pick a journal prompt from this week to have you guys type up on Friday. So maybe it's this one. So make sure you are doing personal best effort because we are going to ask you guys to submit your work. So keep that in mind. And then after your morning work, your adverb and journal, you are going to join us on Zoom. We're going to talk about our personal narrative writings. We've graded your rough drafts and we are going to now start looking at our rubric as well as revising our rough drafts. And we're going to go ahead and go over all of it during our Zoom. We're going to end at that 9:55 time just because you guys do have your PE Zoom at 10 o'clock. So you come over here and you click your little friend who is stretching. Oops. Well, not loading for me right now, but that's okay because I will pull it up. So you're going to come over to your classwork tab. It's okay, we forgot to link it. So we're going to come over and you will see it is under where our Tuesday is, where it says PE Zoom 10 to 12, and you come over here and you click it and it'll pop right up. And remember, it is the orange button. Which button is it? I hope you said orange button. It is at 10 o'clock. Make sure you do not miss it. We want to make sure that you guys are still getting up, getting your exercise in, and you get to see Miss H, which is pretty cool. So make sure you do that. And then after your PE Zoom, give yourselves a break. You deserve it. That is a lot of Zoom time. So give yourselves that break and come right back because we are going to continue talking about making inferences. I love that. I know a lot of friends were watching the Making Inferences video and it's going to help you guys so much. So thank you to everyone that's been following that direction, watching the video before completing the assignment. So you're going to come over here. It is the green book. And I'll repost the video as well if you want to go back and reference it. Totally acceptable. But what you're going to do is you have a new story today. And it's going to be the same format as yesterday. So you have a story here. The audio is available. Miss Walsh reads the story to you. And then you have 5 questions to answer. And please, please, please use that Zoom button. That is why it's there. And if you use the Zoom button, you can see the words or the questions a lot easier. So please, please, please click on that zoom button. It's going to save you so much time. And it's not going to hurt your eyeballs, because I know sometimes it's hard with these screens. So make sure you press that zoom button so you can see it nice and up close. And then after your inferences, reading, and activity, please continue to do your daily prefix and suffix video, your practice. I was so impressed with a lot of my friends who took the prefix and suffix quiz on Friday. You guys did wonderful, kiss your brains. I was so impressed. My goal is to hopefully get everybody to get a 9 or a 10 on that quiz. Because again, this is really important for you guys. It's to help you become stronger readers. The suffixes and the prefixes help you to decode higher level vocabulary, as well as better understand the text overall. So continue to practice that. It's really important. Miss Walsh isn't going to just give you something to give you something, right? Miss Walsh cares about you. She wants your brain to grow. So make sure you are continuously doing these activities. And then you are going to do your personal narrative. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, you're going to look at this and you're going to be like, Miss Walsh, this is a lot of work. And yes, it is. But let me remind you of 2 things. 1, you are a 3rd grader and you are in my class. I only have scholars in my class. I know you can do it. 2, I don't expect you to turn it on all of it today. We'll talk more about it during Zoom, but it's due Friday. So keep that in mind as I'm showing you this. I'm not expecting it at the end of the day today. Keep that in mind. Okay. So, like I said, we are going to talk about the rubric today. So if you click where it says rubric, boom, it's going to take you straight to the rubric, which again, we will completely talk about during our Zoom today. What I'm asking for, what the expectation is. So here's the rubric, and again, I know the font's really tiny, so if you click the zoom button, oh, look at that. It makes it a lot easier to read. So keep that in mind. And again, we're going to talk about it today. So keep that in mind. And then the rubric, you also are going to have an editing checklist, which is going to be that checklist right there, which is going to be a tool that you are going to use as you edit and revise. I should not get your editing checklist before your final draft is turned in. If you give it to me, I'm going to delete it and I'm going to send it back. I should not get this before your final draft. You do this after your final draft. Let's say that again. You do this after your final draft, which we will talk about during our Zoom. This does not come in before your final draft. This comes in after your final draft. So if you turn in your final draft Friday, the editing and revising checklist comes in on Friday. Keep that in mind. What you're going to do though, I'm just going to share it with you in case I have friends that do get a head start and they get a lot of their work done. What you're going to do is you're going to click on the check mark and drag it over to the spot. So I made sure all my paragraphs were indented. Boop. All my sentences start with a capital letter. I'm going to bring it over. Boop. And so on. So you're going to make sure that you meet all these criteria, which again, we are going to go over during Zoom. And then finally, you are going to click on the pencil to take you to your final draft. Yes, I said it, final draft, which again will be due Friday. When is it due? Oh, I know you're not actually here telling me, but I can hear you guys saying Friday. So thank you to my friends that did it. It is due Friday, so keep that in mind. So personal narrative, final draft, I click on it, and you're going to see this guy right here. And so this is going to be your final draft paper. What you're going to notice, because everybody's is going to look a little bit different, and that's because all of your guys' writing is different. So you are going to have your final draft paper. Everyone has slides 1 and 2. You're going to see there's a scholarly reminder. It's talking about indenting, which again we'll talk about during Zoom. But what you do is you click here, and if I'm starting a new paragraph, which you will because you have your first, next, then last, you are going to press your tab button, and it will indent for you, so you don't even have to worry about that. So I'll write I start a new paragraph, I press the tab button again, and it indents for me. So just keep that in mind, which again we will talk about during Zoom. And then over here you're going to see a check mark, and this is going to take you to the editing and revising checklist. And then it will open up 2 tabs, which again you know about opening multiple tabs because that was one of your jobs during our technology boot camp. You have your checklist right here in this tab, and then you have your final draft here. So keep that in mind. You do have that. And then what you're going to notice on your, let me move myself, I'm in the way. What you're going to notice in your personal final drafts is after slide 2 is going to be 4 more slides. I had to think about it. 4 more slides, that is your entire rough draft. And Miss Lopez and I, we left comments on everybody's rough draft that completed the rough draft. If you did not complete a rough draft, you don't have any feedback because you didn't turn in any writing. You need to turn in a writing because, like I said, progress reports are around the corner and you're just going to get marked for not turning in any writing. So keep that in mind. For my friends who haven't completed it yet, you need to complete that. And so all my friends that have completed the rough draft, you have feedback. Your feedback is either written as a comment, or I have some friends who have audio feedback, which means if it will show like a little microphone button or a speaker button rather, you're going to click it and it will, Miss Walsh or Miss Lopez will tell you your feedback with audio rather than with writing. So just keep that in mind. We gave you guys each feedback that is specific to you and where you are at writing, so make sure that you keep that in mind while you're doing it. And we left the rough draft there so you can go back and be like, what did I say here? And because you did most of the work already, right? The rough draft, that's the hard work. And now this is the easy work. You're just making your writing beautiful. So keep that in mind. And that is going to be your perfect break time, because I know that's going to be a lot, especially starting off. Have lunch. Go take your lunch, take a break, and after your lunch you are going to come back and you're going to do a little bit more of expanded algorithm practice. So you're going to click the little math symbols, and that is going to take you over here. And so it's pretty similar to what you did yesterday, except it's just going to be broken up a little bit different, but it's basically the same exact thing that you did yesterday. What we're doing is we're basically taking a step back and we're kind of giving you guys the opportunity to show us what you know. And so you're going to see, instead of it being hundreds, tens, ones, it's the same thing, but instead of having the hundreds, tens, ones, it's just going to have the blank spaces for you to put your hundreds, tens, and ones. And so you are going to first expand it. Remember, expand. And then you're going to add your hundreds, add your tens, add your ones. Start in the ones place. Tell yourself, start in the ones place. Add your ones, add your tens, and then add your hundreds. And then you're going to add them all up together to get your standard form number, which is here. So your first problem is going to be here, second problem, and then your third problem, and your fourth problem. So you only have 4 problems. Keep that in mind. Remember, the questions are up here. The questions are right here, so make sure that you are looking to see what your equation is, because I saw some friends started to make up their own after Miss Lopez said, don't do that. You already have a question, so keep that in mind. If you want to do additional practice outside of this and make up your own problems, love it. That's awesome, amazing, super scholarly. But for these problems, make sure you're answering these specific questions. And then after math, you have iReady reading, so make sure to do your reading. Like I said yesterday, if you have not completed your diagnostic, that's going to show up on your progress report. It has to get done this week. No exceptions. Keep that in mind. If you have finished your diagnostic, pat on the back. You are doing reading today, so keep that in mind. And then after that, it is going to be cleanup time. Clean up your station, make it all nice and ready for Wednesday. and that will be it. Again, I know it was a lot, but I promise you you are going to be fine. We're going to get through it together, and we are always available with any questions you have. All right, D1, have a great rest of your day.